table of contents here will be, I'll be showing you an emerging markets map. What actually defines an emerging market? Key concept of emerging technologies. Common industry concepts. Institutional voids. Keyword. Common industry concepts, business groups. Technological capabilities. Changing income distribution. And BOP. Who knows what BOP stands for?
Bottom of the pyramid.
Hey, good job. 10 points
yes,
for you.
sir.
Yeah.
Okay, and the last page will be work site references.
Right.
BOP. Okay, here we go. Next slide. So this is a map of the emerging market countries. So, does anybody have a favorite emerging market up here?
Philippines, maybe.
Oh, Philippines, yeah, they got
The Asian market is sort of
Which one?
the Asian market right here, where
Oh.
Taiwan, Vietnam,
Oh,
Philippines.
yeah. That's a good one. Okay, that's the map.
I like Brazil.
Oh, me too. I like their swimwear over there. It's pretty good.
In Argentina.
I second that, swimwear.
Okay. So, emerging markets. So what defines an emerging market? So emerging markets are markets that's not fully developed. Sorry, as I look at my notes. They actually have a lower per capita income, which means they have room for growth. These countries invest in their economy to be more productive and have a higher quality of life. Their lower per capita income is also a factor that sets up emerging economies for more growth. Emerging markets are going from traditional markets. Can anybody think of what a traditional market is?
Cane fields.
Agriculture, to be more industrialized. So with old traditional markets, they are especially vulnerable to natural disasters. Currency changes and people who are simply reluctant to adapt to new ways. So the capital markets are less mature, which indicates that there are a lot of foreign investment. This is also another characteristic for growth, because future investors would want a higher than average return. Next slide. So the key concepts of emerging technologies. With that, of course, you're going to have improvements in your quality of life. And there'll be more innovative ways to do business, more efficient ways of doing business. And of course, when you're dealing with emerging market, you want to have some etiquette and support their culture, which could be certain ways of like addressing they got a certain way of like practices that they do, like how they greet each other, how they do business. how you can't just talk to the top guy. You got to maybe go through the lower manager first before you talk to the dictator or whatever.
Okay, so in relationship, yes, emerging technologies in emerging markets. That was a key concept of last week, all right? So, for instance, we have new enormous number of cities that are created every single week, okay? Maybe every single month in China. Towns are growing. It's like that immigration from the traditional, like what you were saying, like from the farming into cities. So in many of these cities, what they are doing is like already they are creating houses with solar panels. So they are using a new technology that is good for the environment already, and it's cheaper. Okay, so this is like an advantage that we can deal with. and it's like emerging technology, environment, renewable sources in the emerging markets, because everything is new, so we can create there. It's much easier than renovate our houses that we have that for years, and some people are going to be reluctant that create that from scratch, let's say. Very good.
So that's basically that gap or missing go-between processes that actually links the buyers and sellers. So without filling that institutional void, there will be no transaction. Then developed infrastructures and institutions for efficient business processes are not in place. That's another institutional void. So like we said earlier in the discussion, how we wanted to develop infrastructure, that's a gap. So that's an institutional void. Then if you fill these voids, you'll overcome these barriers and you'll bring success.
Within the institutional void, okay, it's like the non-written. It's a lot of non-written laws, a lot of no taxes and those type of barriers that you may not be aware.
The red tape, yeah.
A lot of red tape, and then you have to give money as well to be able to fulfill that. And if you don't know the right person, it's like vitamin B. That's what they call it in Germany. Beziehungen is about the relationships. Who do you know? So instead of your paper to be fulfilled, or your process, okay, in 6 months or maybe never, okay, it can be done in a week if you know the right people. This is like it's not efficient. Okay, we know we really need to have some information from the inside and get to know how they are working. All right, it's 7 minutes.